take a seat, and welcome to the Sit Down.
Hey everybody, thanks for coming up on the Sit Down. And before we get started, if we could just take a second and just double check. What are we double checking? You're probably saying, Hunter, you tell me about this every single week. Yes, you're right. I am, because we need to see if you're subscribed. That is the one thing you can do to help us out, is just make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Like this video, share it with somebody that you know. That gets it out to as many people as possible. We're looking for empty glasses. And if you could just help us out, that could just be the drop that somebody needed. So check on that for us, and let's get into it. Welcome to the Sit Down. All right, guys. Well, welcome to the Sit Down. And we're in Grand Forks today, the greatest college town in, I'm going to just go ahead and say, the whole country.
Agreed.
And we got an awesome guest on today, and he's going to tell his story, but John Holth is somebody that I've looked at from afar, and I always kind of wanted to be friends with, because he's got the glasses, and he's got, how many different pairs of glasses you got, John?
It's a lot. There's a rack in my closet with a few.
The white ones, though, or the ones that pop?
I've kind of gone away from them for a little bit. Sometimes it's nice to not be recognized from 3 blocks away.
I will say, man, I remember going to college, and I'd see you at UND events, and you were the guy with the white glasses. And so maybe that's not what you wanted to be known for.
There's worse things I could be known for.
But John, no, in all seriousness, you're one of those guys that I've worked out with your wife at Sanford Power, and then also your mother-in-law.
Yep.
And so I've heard a lot about you, but now to get the chance to come and sit down with you and talk, appreciate you making time for it.
I'm excited, man. Thanks.
This is a sweet spot that you're allowing us to record.
Yeah.
In.
This is great.
Tell us a little bit about the spot.
This is the 1883 collective offices. So we've been up here for a couple of years. So side passion project of mine, the 1883 collective, and overlooking the practice football field. So I mean, for a giant sports fan like me to be able to sit here and watch football practice and not get any work done, it's a dream.
Perfect
right?
spot.
So yeah, exactly.
We probably should start there, because that's where our paths crossed.
Yeah,
is our love for UND.
Yeah, for sure.
And just tell me how you got involved with it and how it all came.
I mean, UND is in my blood. Like my in-laws went here, my parents went here. I mean, my sister, all my family went here. It's just, and I grew up in Grand Forks, so it's just a part of, that's a part of who I am, I feel like.
Yeah.
And then, combine that with my love for all sports. That's just a part of what we've done growing up here. You go to UND sporting events. That's what you do in your downtime.
100%. I grew up telling people, it was just our family school.
Yeah.
It's just like who we cheered for.
For sure.
Saturday afternoons came on, and a cold night in December, you know what you were doing. You're going to a hockey game.
Yeah.
It was the team. And maybe other families have that team. And I know the Catholics down in Napoleon, they all cheer for Notre Dame. It's just their team,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
In our family, our Notre Dame was UND. It was a different ND. Now, you grew up in Grand Forks. We gotta just put it to rest.
Yeah.
Because you sent me a text a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And you got some beef to pick with my mom.
Well, I don't have. See, the thing about it is it's interesting. I'm a Red River kid.
Yeah. And you took some offense when she started calling you river rats.
Well, I just wanted to get the facts out, because your mom goes into it, and what I realized is Central people really have this hatred for Red River. They're calling us names, right?
Yeah.
The rats things, and Red River, we don't. I don't know. We just don't talk about number 2, so we don't have the same hatred back towards them.
Sure.
And a lot of times if you look at it, that hatred is oftentimes based in jealousy.
Okay.
So if that's where your mom's at with it, I get it. But Red River's the best school in the city.
Fair enough.
My kids will go there now,
Yep.
and
Little brother.
I'm gonna hear from your mom now.
You're gonna get a text. Yeah. So you're just,
I love your mom, by the way. This is
kinda,
all in good fun, just for the record.
yeah. Katie,
yeah.
do not let your wrath on him. But so you're just saying Central's just little brother.
Yeah.
You just take care of your thing up there.
And that's
up
fine.
there.
Little brother has a role in a community.
Right.
That's fine.
Okay,
but like
fair.
we're happy and proud of Red River and who we are. Yeah.
And Mom, I'll just I got your back, Mom. Just remember who won the championship this year on the ice. So
yeah, that's fine. That's
okay.
Yep. I mean, there's always little brother has moments.
Okay. All right. Fair.
Little brother deserves moments.
You. So growing up and being a Grand Forks townie, and loving sports, what sports did you play? What were your true loves?
Yeah, football was always my first love.
Yeah.
So I played hockey, through my youth and stuff like that, but played football through high school, and football's always been like my first love. So, and has been ever since high school. So it's just, that's my sport. Yeah.
And speaking of football, we got to just touch on it. We could probably talk for a good 30 minutes, but UND's football program is going in the right direction.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting. And I think there's, Coach Schmidt will deflect the credit. I mean, he gets a ton of it. And, we're fortunate. I mean, he got to see football at the highest level, from programs that he was at. But man, the community, I think, has rallied behind the program. He's built an incredible staff, and momentum is a real thing in sports. Mm-hmm. It really is. And, I think you can feel it right now.
Yep.
So I'm really excited about this coming season.
We'll talk more about it later in the episode here, but you mentioned it, and I've got the chance to work with a lot of those guys that he worked with.
Yeah.
Specifically Kalen DeBoer, who's now at Alabama. And when I was out there at Washington, Garrett was out there too. We went out to Seattle, and you see what winning looks like, mm-hmm. like a winning culture. Mm-hmm. And like that room that we were in, you felt greatness. And I don't think we realized it maybe in the moment, but then you go see other places and you realize who was in that room that day. But like Mike Penix, Rome Odunze, Jalen McMillan, Jeremy Bernard, Jalen Polk. You go through like Parker Brailsford, like double-digit NFL guys.
Yep.
And then on top of that, the coaching staff that they had is just incredible.
Yeah.
Jamarcus Shepard's now a head coach, and Nick Sheridan, who's the quarterback coach, he's now an offensive coordinator at Michigan State. Like all these guys, and it's Schmitty. He mm-hmm. was the D-line coach and special teams, and now look what he's done. Like, I just think sometimes in order to take the next step, you have to go out and learn and do something different. You can always come back home, but I think those 5 years that Schmitty was gone, and someday he'll sit down with us on the pod. That would be fun. But man, that 5 years were big for him, and it's shifted our program.
I agree.
That's been exciting.
Yeah.
All right, so you play sport. Your football is your first love.
Yeah.
You graduate from Top Dog Red River.
That's right. You
said
it.
Yeah. Where do you go? Where do you go from there?
Yeah. So I immediately, actually, after high school, was actually gonna play football. Continue. Went to Bemidji State for a semester, and just one reason or another, it just didn't happen for me. I decided kind of after I got there, I wasn't going to do it. Ended up coming back to UND and went to UND for a semester. And at that same time, I started working in restaurants locally. And when I was working at a couple restaurants here, kind of decided like, oh, I really like this. And then I was working at a place called Sanders in downtown Grand Forks as a server, which was, sort of the fine dining restaurant in Grand Forks back in the day. And then I just kind of decided, like, I think this might be the career for me. And Kim Holmes was the owner. Mm-hmm. I remember him very vividly still pulling me into his office and just looking me in the eye and saying, hey, if you want a career in the restaurant industry, you can do it. I just want you to know you have the skill set for it. And I think that just flipped a switch for me. So dropped out of college and started working in restaurants full time. Just kind of decided like, hey, if I'm going to do this, like the best career path for me is in the trenches in the restaurant.
we got to talk about that moment, because in today's world, and I have told people this as well, but like, man, go to college
Hmm.
and go get a degree, and it it didn't work like that for you.
Yeah, it didn't.
And so you have somebody who is so well respected in Grand Forks,
Yeah.
in Kim Holmes, and what he did with Sanders. My grandparents still talk about Sanders.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
Yeah.
but he believes in you. He
Yeah.
really breathes some belief into your life, and suddenly maybe you start believing in yourself a little bit. Tell me about that decision of like, man, I'm just gonna bet on myself.
Yeah. Well, not super popular with the parents, as you can imagine, right?
Yeah.
To say like, I think I'm gonna be done with college for now. But like, I think for me, it was one of my first moments, and I had great coaches and stuff like that too in high school, but it was one of my first moments where I really got to see the power of someone believing in you and communicating that, like what that, it felt just like a shot in the arm for me. Like, oh, okay, I can do this. Start to just lean into it. And man, stuff started to happen pretty fast after that. Like I just started to sort of climb in the restaurant world. And then it was, 5 years later, 6 years later, when we opened the Toasted Frog. So it moved pretty quick. I was 27, I think, when we opened the Toasted Frog. So
That's crazy.
yeah,
Because Garrett, you're 27 or 26. 27 or 26?
26.
26, gonna be 27 coming up. Like, think of that. To open up a restaurant at 27 is that's a risk. It's a big
yeah.
jump.
I tell people it's almost. I think it was better for me to have a level of ignorance about what I was getting into, like just some blinders on. Like, yeah, I can open a restaurant,
do it.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
10 years later, I might not have, but yeah, just sort of full steam ahead from there.
So did you do this by yourself? Were you?
So I have a business partner that I met at Sanders.
Okay.
And that's where we met. We developed a relationship. We left Sanders right around the same time, moved down to Fargo. We're the opening managers at the Hotel Donaldson in Fargo, and that opened up. Did that for a couple of years, and then Kim Holmes called us and said, "Hey, this space on 3rd Street is open. You guys should open a restaurant." And we were like, "All right, we don't have any money. We've got,
Yeah.
But from that phone call until the time, we secured the space was about like 5 months.
Uh-huh.
And so we just kind of went for it.
How did Toasted Frog come to be?
So that my business partner already had the name.
Okay.
He had decided years before, he was like, if I ever own a place, I want it to be called the Toasted Frog. And for me, I was like, great, one less thing to worry about.
Mhm.
Let's roll with it. So there's no great story, although we're told frequently we should have a better story than that.
Yeah. You're at the
'cause you
point
can be
now
creative.
of 20 years. You
20 years we just celebrated.
just
Yeah.
celebrated 20 years. You're at the point where you can just make the story whatever you want it to
We
be.
can, yeah. And,
Yeah.
and we can change it if we want to.
100%.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
We're 20 years in now.
So you've got yourself and the partner. What do you think your role was?
Yeah. The first few years, like both of us worked. I think the first 6 years the restaurant was open, there was less than 5 nights total where one of us wasn't there. Like it was just, we were all in on being there, managing the operations, adjusting kind of on the fly. So, early on in the early years, that was it. And at the time I was a single guy, no kids, not married. So that was okay. Although I think the lifestyle that created too turned out to be not okay for someone who's built like me, which I'm sure we'll talk about too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a grind. We were there a lot, and a lot of late nights.
Absolutely. When you're building a business, and when you said, being there, it's essential. My grandpa always says the best fertilizer for your fields are footsteps.
Yeah.
I assume that's probably the same in the restaurant business.
Yeah, for sure. And we had learned from Kim and at Sanders, and one thing that we learned was, and one thing that he was so good at was being a face to the customers, walking around and talking with people and developing one-on-one relationships with the customers. So we felt, particularly in the early stages, that was really critical, that when the customers came in, that they saw the owners there bussing tables and making drinks and carrying dishes around, which my business partner still does to this day. So we felt a critical component of sort of establishing our identity in the Grand Forks restaurant scene.
What did you want your identity to be? What did you want when you were laying out the vision as a 27-year-old for the Toasted Frog? When somebody walked into the Toasted Frog, what did you want them to feel and experience?
We kind of we wanted it to feel upscale, but not uptight.
Yeah.
So, we sort of wanted to find this middle ground where, there was high-end restaurants, and then there was sports bars. And we kind of wanted to be this sort of in-between place where, people at one table could be having wings and beer, and the next table could be having lobster and wine, and it wouldn't feel weird.
Sure.
And I think we've done that. But that was kind of our vision, was sort of like a little bit elevated experience, but not to the point where it felt unapproachable to Joe Q public. So
that is exactly what the Toasted Frog is. We've all eaten at the Toasted Frog. That is exactly it. I don't feel like I need to wear a suit and tie there.
Yeah.
But I know I'm going to get a really good meal. That is 100%. So you knocked that one out of the park.
Perfect. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Well done on that.
Thank you.
So you build this company, and where does your marriage, and from the time you open up your business, what's the timeline on that? How long? So you're married now, happily married for how many years?
We 16 now.
16.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's
It'll be 16 coming up here.
So that put about 4 years after you open up the business is when you meet your wife.
Correct.
So tell me about that, of you're busting your butt, building this business, and now you're in a relationship. How does that shift?
Well, it shifted in a number of ways, because when my wife came into the picture, when I'd met her, we'd already decided to open a second location in Bismarck.
Okay.
And I'd already decided that I was moving out there to run it, because when we made the decision, I was like, I'm single. I got nothing holding me back here. I'll move to Bismarck. So started to date Emily, and shortly thereafter, it was like, hey, if we're going to do this, just, oh, by the way, will you move to Bismarck with me?
Sure.
Somehow convinced her that was a good idea. But yeah, so a lot of things changed, because we also, met each other a little bit later in life, maybe, so, it wasn't long after we got married where we had kids too. And that changes things, because the long nights and weekends at the restaurant, it just gets challenging when you have a family, right? So things started to gradually sort of shift with how I interacted with the restaurant. Yeah.
I am entering into that phase of, I'm going to get married in August.
Yep.
And Garrett and Anna can attest to our past 2 months. We're probably never going to have another 2 months like we had. Our lives are going to shift. Mine specifically drastically when I get married, and my fiance's got 3 kids. And so you've also got 3 kids.
Ew.
It changes. It's going to change things, especially business. But in a good way.
Yeah, for sure. Your priorities shift, right?
Yeah.
And but it's all good, right?
It's
good stuff.
It is good stuff.
Yeah.
So you mentioned it. You're now running a successful business. You're newly married, and then that lifestyle starts creeping, and some dark spots start showing up.
Well, it's interesting because from a timeline perspective, so that lifestyle for me, when the restaurant opened up, that accelerated really quickly.
Sure.
And, I guess I explained to people, when the restaurant opened, we were fortunate to have some success right out of the gate. We were busy. So now all of a sudden I was setting my own schedule, making more money than I ever made before, and had, regular access to a full bar there. And turns out that combination of things is not a great combination for an alcoholic.
Right.
So, so things escalated really quickly for me. So actually, like restaurant opened in 2006, 2008, I went to treatment.
Okay.
And got sober and then met Emily after.
Sure.
So Emily's ever only known me sober, which I'm grateful for, right? Because she probably wouldn't have stuck around had she met me when I was still drinking. But so yeah, and I credit that. Like I don't think if I wouldn't have got sober, like I don't think I would be married and have kids.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Right.
Like I was just Sure. So I was by the time I met Emily, like I was just so much healthier.
So let's go back in that 2006 to 2008 range.
Yeah.
Where you're kind of in the pits. And
yeah.
What did a day look like for you?
Yeah. It was, I mean, there were a lot of hard days because particularly looking back on it now, because like I know now like what I'm capable of, I think, as a human, and I just wasn't living up to those capabilities.
Yeah.
I wasn't a good business partner. I mean, I was late for work and I'd stay too late at work and then stay up after work, which led to sleeping in the next day. Missing family events because I wasn't feeling good and was also sort of filled with shame, I think, about how I was acting. Right. So those days were hard. It felt like quite a while that it was just sort of like rinse and repeat of the same day over and over again of not feeling good, being behind on all the things that you're supposed to be doing as an adult, paying bills, like little things that you don't think about when you're in it. But like, as I look back, like if you look back on pictures of me, like the 6 months before I got sober, I'm wearing the same hoodie in like every picture. And now I know it's because I just wasn't keeping up on laundry.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So it's little things like that. It felt like, I just couldn't get out of it.
When you're in the rut,
yeah.
Do you ever have a moment where you realized like, man, I'm in the rut, or was it just a continuous like revolving door? And then how did you get out of it?
Yeah. Several moments of knowing that I was stuck. Right. And, and not unlike many people who are faced with the disease of addiction and have substance use disorders, like tried to quit several times on my own. Right. Because I've been called out on it. Right. I mean, like my parents are like, they called me out on it. My siblings would call my friends, and you do the old deflection thing. You'd minimize it. Right. It's not as bad as you say it is. But then you try to quit. Right. And, you'd be able to go 2 or 3 days. Right. And then when you can't and you jump back in, like, so, for me, I remember, having a pretty chill, but poignant conversation with my dad and my business partner. Just kind of like, my dad is the type of guy who like, he never raised his voice or anything like that, but when he spoke, it meant something. Right. And, we're also, we're Midwest Scandinavian people that, as men, we don't talk about our feelings like a lot. Right. So like, when your dad kind of expresses concern, right. I just kind of, I had this moment like, oh, okay. So went to treatment for 30 days. My dad drove me to treatment. Spent 30 days at Project Turnabout in Granite Falls, Minnesota. Didn't think I was supposed to be there for the first few days. By the time I left, I knew that 30 days had fundamentally changed my life.
Yep.
But I needed, I needed to learn new skills. I mean, I almost needed to learn how to become an adult, right? I needed to get on a routine of waking up at a normal hour and doing laundry. And so I tell people oftentimes, like, the thing that I got out of treatment the most for me was like a normal adult routine,
Yeah.
you know, and also just like the skills to be able to talk about feelings and be open about it and okay with it. And so that was May 17th, 2008 was my last drink.
Just came up on how many
18
years?
years.
18 years.
You got the hash
There it
marks
is. Let's
there.
go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Boy, I can't wait till the end of your life. You're gonna have a full
I know. I'm looking forward to it.
That's
Yeah.
big time. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to rewind just a little bit.
Yeah.
And that conversation, when you talking about your dad and the power of that conversation in your life, when you look back now, 18 years removed, like your dad's willingness to come and not even call you out, but almost call you up.
Yeah.
Like that was a moment that changed your life.
It was. And I thought, between him and my business partner, because it was the three of us talking.
Yeah.
And I remember I remember the chairs we were sitting in at the table we were sitting at the Toasted Frog when the conversation happened. And, to have two adult grown men talking to me about their concern for me, not, hey, you're screwing up, we're sick and tired of it, how dare you, but like, hey man, we're worried about your health here.
Yeah.
We're worried you're about to lose everything. And I think, now that I've worked in addiction for quite a few years and have worked with families a lot, like I know now probably that my dad and my business partner probably feared for my life at that point.
Yep. They
probably were fearful that if I didn't change something, that it was going to be the worst possible ending. So, yeah, it registered with me.
I think there's a lot of wisdom in that, because there's going to be people that are listening to this today that can really relate with the rut that you're in, or that you were in that they are the addict and they know it.
Yeah.
They know that
Yeah,
they are, right?
For sure.
Just like you said, like there's moments like I know I am in this, but then there's also the people that are listening that are in your dad's spot.
Yeah.
And your business partner spot,
Mm-hmm.
where they know somebody that is going through it right now.
For sure.
And man, let this be your knock on your door that you need to answer for. Like, man, don't go and call him a screw up.
Yeah.
But go and like love him.
Yeah.
Because that's really what your dad and partner were doing, man. They were loving you.
They were. And I think, an eye-opening moment for me that I would try to share with as many people too, to your point, is when people understand that addiction is a brain disease, and there's tons of science to show that. That's not my opinion. It's a brain disease.
Yeah.
And that needs to be medically treated like another disease. Mm-hmm. Addiction is not a moral failing. It's a brain disease.
Yeah.
That changes how people view it.
Yeah.
And, and people that are in that rut too, if they realize, okay, I need medical treatment for this. Mm-hmm. And that's not, when I say that, it's important to note that doesn't replace the need for accountability for one's actions, mm-hmm. right? I mean, I still had to take accountability for the hurt that I caused, but I think my ability to see that I am chemically built different, and there's treatment that can positively impact that to change my life. Mm-hmm. That's different than, like I said, a moral failing. Yeah. So when families realize that, when friends realize that, and when people realize that, I think it just changes how people view it and how it should be treated.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
That it completely shifts it from like, you're not living up to the standard of your family name. It's like, no, like there's an issue here.
Right.
But there's also a solution.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Yeah,
that puts a different twist on it.
it does.
So you go to rehab.
Yep.
And you get out of rehab, and you said that you kind of knew, like, oh yeah, my life just changed.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had a couple of those moments as well.
Yeah.
Where like you sit back and like, yep, that my life just went on a different path.
Mm-hmm.
So you get back home and tell me what happens after.
Yeah. I was still what I considered, I was young, right? And so when you're in treatment and leading up to that, and even the days after, I think you have a lot of questions about sort of what the future is going to look like. Like I said, I wasn't married. I can tell you right now, there are a lot of people that go to treatment that aren't married, that one of the thoughts that they have is, are you telling me I'm not even gonna be able to have a glass of champagne at my own wedding? And that prevents people, little things like that, from going to treatment sometimes.
Yeah.
I met with someone the other day who's really, really struggling, and they're going to go to treatment. They're 20 years old. So that young man is faced with, you're telling me I'm never going to be able to drink again, and I can't legally go to the bars yet, right? So you wrestle with some of those fears of what life's going to be like.
Yep.
I made the decision that I was going to just own it and just say, this is where I was for the past 30 days. Mm-hmm. This is who I am. And I was going to be open and vocal about it, because I also wanted an extra level of accountability. If I was all of a sudden going to be out at a bar drinking, I wanted eyes on me, John, as a preventative measure.
Right.
Yeah. So,
what are you doing here? Right.
So I owned it, and told people about it. And, back in 2008, we've come a long way in 18 years in terms of how society views addiction. Mm. Back then, there was still, I'd say, a good percentage of the population that viewed it as a moral failing, but I just owned it. And just started working a recovery program. I mean, recovery from addiction is not a 30-day process. It's a lifelong process. I mean, it's literally every day you work a recovery program for the rest of your life. And that looks different. Everybody's recovery program is different, but I just started working a program, stayed in sober living for a month to make sure that I was safe and didn't have temptation around me. And then really just started to put some building blocks together of what life would be like sort of post alcohol.
The temptation, it's there.
Mm-hmm.
It's every day.
Every day. Yeah.
And so what do you do specifically in that program, that daily, to continue to fight it? And then what would you give somebody that is dealing with some of that stuff right now? What would you tell them?
Yeah, early on I had to put some rules in place, like some steadfast rules, right? So like when I came back from treatment, for quite a while, I said, okay, I'm not ever going to be alone at the restaurant, and I'm not going to be there past 10 o'clock. Right. So just to kind of make sure, outside of that, I know you guys have covered this in different ways on this podcast, but the people that you choose to be your people are really, really important when you're in recovery. And, you start to learn, I think a lot of people that get sober and then work a recovery program, you start to learn that maybe you didn't have a whole lot of friends, but you had a lot of drinking buddies.
Yeah.
But I found, my true friends were back and supportive and willing to say like, hey man, we won't drink around you. Like, so, so for me, it does get easier with time. I can be around alcohol. But I had to put some rules in place, and I think the biggest thing is I recognize that most of what I have now, my job, my family, and everything, I would not have without recovery, which means that I have to put my recovery first so that I don't risk losing the other things that are really, really important to me.
Right.
So, I think about it with everything that I do, like my wife and I were just in Vegas. Vegas can be tough for someone in recovery, 100%. Right? So I just have safeguards and rules, right? Like there's just, There's just things that you just don't go around. There's things that you don't do.
Right.
And that's where I'm at. So
I get that.
yeah.
We just said a couple podcasts ago, I said, give me one word that comes to mind when I say this city. And I said Las Vegas. Garrett, what did you say?
I said hot.
You said hot. Anna, what did you say?
Sin.
Sin. A lot of sin.
Yeah. It's everywhere. And I tell people, actually, Emily and I love Vegas and we go there frequently. I tell people, like, for me, I look around, I have constant reminders of why I need to be in recovery. Like everywhere you
Flip
look,
it.
I'm like,
completely flip it.
that's why I am not going to drink.
That is a good point. That is awesome. You're able to flip it on top of itself. Well, let's continue. Let's fast forward, and there's a lot that happens from 2008 to 2026. I get that. Married, 3 girls. You're in a house full of girls now.
I am.
Which is awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love every bit of it. Yeah.
The girl dad. Give me, as someone who is going to roll, I was about to say roll into fatherhood. I got you, Anna. As someone's about to have 2 girls in my household, give me the best part of being a girl dad and one thing you wish you'd have known going into fatherhood.
The best part for me about being a girl dad is that I think I've got to see the value of the girls having an important male role model that is just understanding of what they might be going through. They're, my girls are 14, 12, and 10, middle school years. I got one, middle school, high school years can be tough for girls.
Yeah.
Can be really tough. And I've just sort of like learned that my job is to support them however they need it. And just to understand, it's not to dictate what they should or shouldn't be doing. When I support them in that way and I see a glimmer in their eye, like, it's amazing. So I don't know, like for me, like that's the best part is just being a supporter and seeing how much that means to them.
Yep.
One thing I wish I'd knew, I don't know, maybe I should have, there's a lot of, I told you the ages of my girls.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like, what I would say maybe medical type conversations happening in my house. Right?
Yeah, there's a lot of changes going on.
There are, right? And I will say this, one thing that I love though is like, I think this is different with that generation versus maybe when I was that age, is like these girls, the girls talk about it openly, like amongst their friends and amongst us. I mean, my girls have no qualms about sending me to the store for the stuff that they need. Sure. And I think that's great.
That's great.
Yeah. But I don't know if I was really prepared for those conversations until they just happened. I think one day.
I got a few years until then. That's good.
Yeah.
Give me some years to prep on that. Anna, I want to jump to you because how many sisters do you have?
I have 4 sisters. There's 5 brothers.
There's 5 girls, a few boys as well. But tell me what your dad did best being a girl dad from the other way.
I'd say similar to you, just the support in anything that we were interested in. He was going to be there regardless. Some of us were a little bit more into music. Some of us were a little bit more into sports. But it didn't matter. It was like he never missed anything, even though he had a full work schedule, went to work every single day. And just, the constant support. We felt like we were always important. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Speaking of, and thanks for sharing that, Anna, but speaking of supporting your kids in whatever their passion is, you're going down to Florida this week.
Yeah.
Go ahead, tell them.
I'm a cheer dad.
You're a cheer dad.
Yep.
Let's go.
Yep.
Okay.
2 of my 3 girls are in all-star cheer.
Yeah.
They've done it for years. They love it. And to your point about just being there, like, I've missed 1 cheer competition the past 7 years. It was a 1-day deal. I still feel guilty about it, but like, Yeah, we're going to Florida for nationals.
Let's go.
Yep. So
That's the craziest thing. Like you grew up loving football. You love all
Yeah.
these sports. Like you don't think, oh, cheer. Like maybe you want to play. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's like whatever you are passionate about and want to pursue. Like I'll support you.
for sure. And they love it. They love
cool.
it, and it
Right.
develops like the camaraderie, and the team is incredible. Like it's an amazing team sport. They have a blast with each other. I'm telling you, they are athletes.
Yeah.
Like my girls are from doing cheer. Like they are ripped. They are the conditioning that they're doing. It's wild. They are athletes. But yeah, they love it. And like, so I'd like to be there, and it's a lot of bows and a lot of hairspray and a lot of makeup, and it makes them so happy. And that makes me
That makes
so
you happy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And, I've got my one daughter that doesn't do cheer.
Yeah.
She's my football player.
Balance.
I got a flag football
Little
player.
balance. I
And,
love it.
so I get it all. Yeah. That's great.
I got just a sliver of this. It would have been probably a few months ago where Mercedes, my fiance, her oldest daughter, went to cheer camp, and they had to learn some cheers because they were going to cheer at halftime of the football game.
Yeah.
And the night before the football game, I have never been more intense about learning a routine than I was that night.
Yeah.
I mean, we were drilling.
Yeah.
Drilling it. And I remember thinking to myself, like, man, I remember doing this with one dribble pull-up jumpers.
Yeah.
But here I am. I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yep.
5, and I remember thinking like, oh, this is what it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just like whatever they're in, like, I'll just support it. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's
I
big
love
time.
it. I love it.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
So you get into doing life, and there's a lot of life, and we could sit here for hours and talk about it. But
Yeah.
but let's jump now, because you really used your addiction and your recovery to now pour into other people and helping with people through it. And we talk a lot about that on the pod of like, man, how can we just pour a drop into people?
Yeah.
Because you just never know.
For sure.
So tell me how you've used your addiction, but also your recovery to now help others.
Yeah. I think I've learned through my recovery process that I've learned a totally different form of leadership that I didn't know existed. I think in the past, my, view of leadership was something that was powerful and going to battle and, sort of these strong feelings. And I think I've learned that, that sharing vulnerability is a really strong form of leadership, and it makes people want to rally behind you when you are willing to share crap that you've gone through and how it's impacted you and how you are an imperfect human. And so I started to just share my story of recovery publicly, and in hopes that it would make someone more comfortable with saying like, oh, okay, he can do it, I can do it too. Because stigma is a really strong thing. It's still the greatest barrier for people getting the help that they need, is what other people will think of me. So I started working. Former First Lady Catherine Burgum started an initiative called Recovery Reinvented when her and the governor were in office. And I got involved with that on the advisory council early on. She asked me to sit on the advisory council. And then about 3 years ago, she and the governor called me and said, hey, we'd like you to be the managing director of this. So, I pivoted to that as like, okay, this is going to be a career for me now. And really a platform for me to just prop up people in recovery and help people get the help that they need. So
tell
how
me,
it started.
give me the brief summary of that program and what's your mission, and maybe some of the highlights that you've seen and the fruit of your labor in that program.
Yeah. So Recovery Reinvented was just really, it was, I think, the first office of its kind in the country to be dedicated just to stigma reduction.
Which that is badass.
Yeah. Like
that is so cool.
Yeah.
That and prop Miss Burgum. I mean, for her to really initiate it, and then for you to elevate it. But that's awesome. Like, I'm proud that North Dakota is like on the forefront of that.
Yeah, I
So,
think it was just a recognition to say, like, look, if we really want to make a difference here, we got to change how we talk about this disease
yeah,
first.
let's go.
You know, and credit to Catherine. She said, look, if this is what we're going to do, let's measure it in some capacity. So, you know, I'm also proud to say, like, in 2019, 62% of North Dakotans believed addiction was a disease, and in 2021, 74% of North Dakotans believed in it.
Well,
that, you know, so we're making progress, and really, you know, the guts of Recovery Reinvented was powerful storytelling. It was putting people like me that had been through hell at times and had said, I need help, and come out on the other side, putting those people on stage and supporting them and letting them share their story comfortably in hopes that it would get more people to come forward and get the help that they need. So, you know, so did that, and managed that. And then Governor Armstrong got elected, about a year ago. And I've known Governor Armstrong since our college days. He's a UND guy.
Yeah.
And met with him, and he had this idea. He said, okay, let's take all the work that the Burgums did and take it to the next level. Let's stand on the shoulders of giants. And now let's talk about policy and other barriers that we can look to overcome for North Dakotans in the areas of recovery and reentry. He's a criminal defense attorney. So, you know, looking specifically at our neighbors that have been incarcerated that are reentering society. And his idea to do that was to was to create a cabinet position called Commissioner of Recovery and Reentry. And he appointed me to that role in January of last year. So that's what I'm doing now.
Pretty cool. And
awesome.
after we get done with this recording, you're driving to Bismarck to go meet with
Got
people.
meetings tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's turning a struggle into strength. And it doesn't even need to be addiction, but everybody's got something.
Yeah.
And for you to be able to, number one, look your struggle straight in the eyes, and then not let it defeat you, but really turn it into a strength, not for yourself, but now for others. That's freaking cool. So I just want to commend you on that.
Thanks.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And, you know, I also tell people though too, like it's good for my recovery. Yeah. Like this is my recovery program now, is, you know, is helping others and being able to talk about it. And, so it makes me proud. It makes me proud of our state. Yeah. Like we are, North Dakota is a leader in this battle across the country. So super proud of it. You know, grateful to the governor for recognizing that, grateful to all my coworkers at Health and Human Services. Like I get to see now on the inside working for you know, people have perceptions of government workers, you know, I mean, I get to go to work every day and see people that are coming to work for all the right reasons. Yeah. Literally to help people and save lives. And I get to go shoulder to shoulder with them. And it's the coolest thing ever.
It's amazing how everyone has a different story, but yet like a lot of our stories are the same. And your what is different than a lot of people. Yeah. You know, what I do, what you do. Yeah, it's different. And what Garrett does, what Anna does. But a lot of the whys are the same. Yeah. And you found that now, whether it's working at the state, like if your why is to help people, we're going to get along. Mm-hmm. Like if your why is to go make an impact for people, we're really not all that different. We might be in different fields. We might be doing different stuff, but the purpose is the same. So.
It makes it easier to do hard stuff.
Yeah.
When you can connect on that. Right. Yeah. So like you know, sometimes things are really, really hard in government to do, but when you can lock arms with people and share that why, it's easier because you're starting from the right place.
100%. I'm a believer connection. Connection is built through gratitude and empathy. You talked about the storytelling of, man, testimony does have power. And the empathy for
Yeah.
people of I'm going to hop in the bunker with you, but then also like the gratitude. I'm grateful to go to work with these people every day. It creates connection. So that's big time. Before we move on, if there's somebody that is struggling, that's listening right now, and is like, this is the knock on the door.
Yeah.
For some reason they're listening to this podcast today, and they know they need some help.
Mm-hmm.
How do they go get it?
Yeah, it's a great question. You know, there's a lot of different resources on the internet in terms of, you know, where you can find things. There's, you know, someone might not be ready to fully go to treatment, but they might feel like they want to just test out an AA meeting, right? So you can find that online where the closest meeting is to you. The answer that I give to that question is like, if you go on like the governor's website, like my email address and cell phone number is there. You can call or text me anytime.
Come on.
I'll meet with you right now. Like, I mean, like that's one of the things my family knows. Like when my phone rings at 11 p.m., doesn't phase them because that's part of the job.
Yeah.
Right. So reach out. But I think again, like just you got to talk to somebody about it.
Yep.
And there's a lot of actually resources out there. At the state of North Dakota, we have a behavioral health navigator that if you know you need help, but you don't know where to start, we have a person that their only job is to help you figure out the landscape, figure out what to do next. So there's a lot of options for you.
Really comes down to making a decision, man.
Yeah.
Do you want to get helped?
Yeah.
And then the resources are there for people.
Support will be there for you.
That's awesome. Garrett, Annie, you got anything on the addiction side for John? Any questions that popped up?
Do you work with people who struggle with addictions other than alcoholism?
Yeah, absolutely. So anything, our behavioral health division, there are a lot of things that fall into behavioral health, right? So it can be alcohol, drugs, whatever, gambling, we've got resources for all of it. So yes, there's, again, when we talk about the fact that this is a disease, we're talking about the fact that this is a brain disease and people are wired different. And that is not alcohol or drugs that does that. That's your brain, right? So yeah, so there's treatments for all of that. We're happy to help with any of it, for sure. Great question.
You're good.
Did you feel like you had to kind of not get rid of a lot of friends or people in your life when you were drinking alcohol and stuff in order to like keep moving forward and put the past behind you?
Yeah, it's an interesting question because like, when I look back on it, I mean, the short answer is I did have to be more sort of strategic and thoughtful about who I was surrounding myself with. Right. And that's not a knock on the people that I was. Like they have the right to decide to do whatever they do. I tell people all the time, like, just because I stop drinking doesn't mean I expect everybody around me to stop drinking. Right.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, you have to be strategic about the situations that you put yourself in. But I think I also learned really quickly too. I think when you're in active addiction, at least for me, when I was, that the drinking becomes part of your identity. And I didn't know it at the time, Anna, but like when I look back on it, as my friends grew up and started to sort of grow out of some of these habits, I kept hanging out with younger people that were still sort of maybe on the edge of like the college drinking phase. And you don't even notice it at the time.
Yeah.
But, like then when I get sober and I'm like, what? I'm 27. What am I doing hanging out with 22-year-olds? I know why now, because it was comfortable. It was a comfortable place for me. They were doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I also just learned like, and I think this may be a result of getting old too, for me, but like, I don't need 1,000 friends.
Come on, preach.
Like I need 8 just really good friends that are my people, right? That I can rely on for anything, my ride or dies, that accept me for who I am, that I can be weird around. So I think over time, that start to scale back that core group a little bit.
Does that mean that I'm getting old too? Because I'm starting to feel that.
Yeah,
You guys feeling that
does.
too? I mean, especially when we were all college athletes that had teammates,
yeah,
and I'm gonna be friends with those guys. Don't get me wrong.
for sure.
For us, but like, I'm not gonna keep in touch with 40 people. Like, give me just a handful of my
Yeah.
guys that I'm just like down
Yeah.
with for life. I'm good with that.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it does mean you are getting old, though. That is a function.
That is part of it. That is part of it. Coming up on 30. Coming up. I'm still catching Mercedes, though. Don't take that the wrong way. Say that. No, I'm not calling you old. I'm just catching it. Let's take a shift, though, because this is what brought us together, UND, and in the ever-changing world of college athletics, you decided to get into the fight, and man, the team that our school, right, the team that you grew up cheering for, now you get to be involved at a higher level, and in some of how the athletic department is run, and how college athletics is structured right now. Tell me how the 1883 collective came to be, and how it has changed since it was even created 2 years ago, and now where it's at currently.
Yeah. Came to be just me as a super fan, sort of looking around the college sports landscape and seeing some of our peer competitors get into the NIL space. There were some collectives popping up for schools in the Missouri Valley. And I was just like, I like winning, and I love UND, and I think a lot of people wondered, like, how come UND hasn't started a collective yet? Well, the answer is that UND can't. Like, collectives are third parties that
outside of the athletic department.
Exactly. Right. So, I knew nothing about NIL and nothing about collectives outside of scrolling Twitter, but I reached out to the athletic department and said, hey, if I start a collective, what do you think? And I got a response, and they said, let's go. So, like, it was a Twitter DM. There's actually a screenshot of it right behind and shoulder over there, other shoulder. That's how it all started.
Throw that up on the pod. That's fantastic.
Eric Martinson, I sent him a DM and he replied. And I started just having coffee with some people, and because I wanted to, anybody can start a collective. You could start one tomorrow,
right?
But I know Grand Forks, and I know the UND community, and I knew the only way that I was interested in doing it is if everybody was on board, from UND administration, athletic department administration, alumni association, fan base.
Yep.
I only wanted to do it if everybody was going to be good with it. So just started to sort of rally that trust and that support, and found an NIL attorney from Michigan, because apparently that's a thing. And honestly, like, we've had those conversations, and I think a month and a half later we were off the ground and running.
Quick. That is astounding that you got it off and running so fast. I think the biggest confusion, and I hope you can explain it better than I can, is now NIL is kind of paired with rev sharing.
Yeah.
And so there is this money that is coming from schools.
Correct.
But then there's also NIL. So can you describe NIL? Like, what is name, image, likeness, and how is it different from rev sharing?
Right. Yeah, it's a great question. So that goes to your question about, like, how has the collective shifted in the past 2 years since we started? Because when we started, we were the only entity providing financial opportunities for student athletes, because we were the only entity that could be, was third party.
Yeah.
Since the House settlement happened, last summer, schools had the opportunity to opt in, which means that they could provide rev share for student athletes. So now universities, UND is one of them, UND opted in. They can essentially provide a percentage of revenue, or a portion of their revenue that they get from, it can be from TV deals, media, fundraising, ticket sales, whatever.
Yep.
And the university internally can pay the athletes. So where the collective has gone then is now we serve essentially as extra sort of fuel on the fire. So actual like opportunities in the business community for athletes to get engaged.
Sure.
So we serve essentially as a broker between athletes and the local business community for marketing and sponsorship deals. So bank wants to work with X athlete, they call me. I work with them. I do all the contracts, all the compliance and everything for the business and for the athlete. So it's easy so they don't have to handle it. And we structure deals for athletes to actually use their actual name, image, and likeness.
What it was actually
what it was-
intended for.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Like this is so crazy. And for the sports people out there, like Johnny Manziel and Tim Tebow and like some of those huge names, like the whole point of this was so that they could like use their name and use their image, literally their face,
Correct.
and be promoted and get paid for it.
Yeah.
And it really turned into before the house settlement now, like a pay for players stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And that was never the intention.
No.
But now deals are getting reviewed. Is that correct?
Yeah, so external deals, so like the deals that we broker, for example, have to go through the College Sports Commission for approval, just to ensure again that it's not pay for play, right? Yeah. So, they analyze the market value of that athlete and the deal that they're doing, and it's their way of ensuring that the cap that was set for rev share as part of the house settlement, that schools aren't using third-party deals to go
raise
over
that cap.
to raise that cap, right? So yeah, they get reviewed. So that's another part of our process now. And I'm proud to say, like, we never did pay for play at UND. Yep. Like when the collective started and we were doing NIL deals before rev share happened, we were doing true NIL deals.
Yeah.
Like we were fundraising, but we were using business purposes through the collective. Like athletes were doing stuff in the community.
Yep.
No one was just getting a check at UND for doing nothing. But yeah, now those deals are reviewed so that, someone can't say like, yeah, you come sign this basketball for $10 million.
Yeah.
Whatever, so I think it's been messy. It's been the rules have been largely dictated by the courts.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to keep changing.
Mm-hmm.
But as weird as it is, like, I think it makes it kind of fun, like
Absolutely.
to like constantly evolving and like trying to stay ahead of your competitors and what the next thing is. Right.
Yeah.
So we saw when the house settlement happened, a lot of our competitors got rid of their collectives.
Yep.
The team that we hate to the south.
Yeah.
Their collective went away.
It fizzled out, right?
We just said, we're going to keep ours because we think it's a strategic advantage for us and there's things that we can do. So
and there's still, like you said, it might not be the wood on the fire, but there is this couple sticks and leaves and maybe a little gas every now and then, like,
for sure.
Yeah, that's a great point. That there is still a place for it.
Yeah. Question?
Do you think that the public has a misconception of NIL?
Yeah. And Garrett, I'll tell you, like, the hardest part about this from the day one has been like trying to come up with a succinct message to share like what this really is. Because like literally, if somebody has no knowledge of the NIL space and what it is, we could sit here for 6 hours explaining things.
They still wouldn't get it.
Yeah. So, I mean, we talked early on in the early days of the collective, like, how do we get this to a 30-second message? And it's virtually impossible. I think the public's learning more because they realize it's not going away, right? NIL is here to stay. Athletes getting paid is here to stay. You don't have to like it. That's fine. But it's not going anywhere. So I think the public has started to learn a little bit more about it just because it's a part of college athletics now, and that's not changing.
And I remember in high school, it would have been like 2013. I did a speech in my sophomore year speech class about Shabazz Napier from the University of Connecticut leading his team to a national championship, and during that year, sleeping in his car.
Yeah.
And it generated over $100 million for the University of Connecticut, that championship run. And yet he was homeless.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not right.
Right.
Like,
No.
Arch Manning, what he's doing for University of Texas down there, he should get paid.
Yeah.
Now there needs to be constraints. I think we're hopefully on the right path. But like guys, like we talk about it, like Lance Rucker, yeah, he deserves to be compensated what he's doing.
Our coaches at UND have done a really good job, I think, of sharing that message with our fan base that, like, look, what you read nationally, what's going on that's not what happened at UND. That's not what's going on. No one's getting rich. No one's driving, crazy cars. No one's wearing a Rolex at UND.
Yeah.
But we also, like, if we have an opportunity to take some of the daily stressors out of a Division I athlete's life,
Yep.
It's a full-time job being a Division I athlete. You don't have time to go get a job or anything like that. And everybody's family situation is different. Mm-hmm. So, like, if we can put gas in an athlete's car and make sure that they don't have to worry about paying for meals and things like that, so that they can focus on football and school and not have to worry about that, let's do that.
100%.
Let's do that.
That's as good as a summary as you're going to hear. I think there was a visual that I saw last fall. There was an informational meeting at the Ralph that talked about like the 3 buckets.
Yeah.
I don't know if we might need to find that graphic, but really the scholarships are still a thing.
Yeah. For sure. A really important thing.
Yeah. And at UND, it's run through alumni. You go through Alumni Association. Like, I've got an endowment paying for a scholarship.
Yep.
Then there is now rev share.
Right.
And there's that bucket that UND is going to be paying athletes directly.
Yep.
But then there's also the NIL bucket and
correct
business opportunity. And that visual helped me understand, like, okay, there's these different streams.
All are important.
All have a place.
And I think what's good for our fans and our donors is, we know that there's fans that aren't fans of NIL. Like, they don't like it. For one reason or another, but there's other opportunities for you to support the programs here then, if you don't like that. If you want to go all in on scholarships, we've got opportunities for you to donate to that, right? So yeah, I think UND has done a really good job of looking at what's the comprehensive transformational experience for a student athlete when they're here. Mm-hmm. Like, let's change their lives in the best way when they're here. And we're going to have all these different things that help support that. And I think it's making a difference.
I think it is.
We got good momentum right now.
We talk football. We're pretty excited about this season. Quarterback, obviously, Jerry, and offensive line for the 5 coming back. Obviously, Seth graduated and one of the best in the country. But man, the pieces are starting to get set in place here.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm excited. I'm excited about the parity. In not only the Missouri Valley, there's going to be, I think it's wide open this year. Obviously, NSU moving, but but really in the country, man, I think there's 10 teams that really have a legit shot
for sure
this year now.
For sure,
and UND is one of them. Let's be very clear. We're
going to be there.
This team has got a great shot to go make a run here. Yeah. Schmitty, and now Danny coming back, and you talk about the momentum, and obviously I played for both those guys.
Yeah,
Schmitty recruited me down in Wishick. He had Southern North Dakota, so I remember him coming, watching the Oaks game, and I sat up by my grandpa. I remember I thought I had a big game against Oaks. I still remember 30 points and 18 rebounds. Got me a scholarship, Garrett. Worked out, man. Worked out.
There we go.
I love Schmitty. So
yeah, great.
I hope we can hold on to him for as long as we can. But let me be very clear. I don't think Eric Schmidt's going to coach at UND his whole career, because the guy belongs at the highest level. And I am very fortunate, and I am open in saying that. He's one of the best leaders in the country. So
I didn't know him before coming back. I got to know him, obviously, and work closely with him like a lot now.
Yeah.
my wife jokes about how much that I talk to him probably as much as her on the phone in any given day.
Right.
But I consider him now to be one of my best friends, like just a fantastic dude.
Yeah.
And is doing it for all the right reasons. Like wants to win, but wants to positively impact young men's lives.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
Yeah. It says your experience in North Dakota should be the best 5 years of your life.
Yeah. Yep.
And you're seeing it in recruiting. Guys are recognizing his authenticity because he's what you see is what you get.
I've sat in on a couple like junior day visits, and
Yeah.
and you hear him say like, "Look, we want your sons to come here to be better football players, but ultimately we're here to make them better husbands and fathers."
Yeah.
And you see the parents kind of perk up a little bit.
That's
like,
real.
Oh, yeah, but it's 100% authentic and genuine. And
That's
that's
real.
what they're doing every day.
I'll never forget going through the stretch lines and right in that building across the HPC, and I remember he'd say, "Thank you, Lumber. How we doing?" And hey, how's your dad doing? How's your sisters doing?
Yeah.
It was I was at Pinky Lumber. Hey, how's your grandpa doing? Eldon.
Yeah.
Right? Eldon, that's his name, right? Yeah, you remember my grandpa's name. It's pretty good stuff. So I'm excited for this fall. I'm going to have to do a follow-up.
I'm excited for football.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do a follow-up in the fall and do a little football check-in, a little UND football special.
I would
What do you think, Gary?
I would love that as like the least athletic guest that you ever had on the podcast.
Yes.
If I get to do a sports follow-up, that I would love to throw that in
Love
those
that, yeah.
athletes' faces.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Ben Strinden, but I'll handle the sports. from
Yeah,
now on.
let me
it's
take
fine.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Exactly. Well, let's wrap up. A couple things. I asked Ben Strinden this. I asked him for his Mount Rushmore of UND hockey players. I'm not going to do that for hockey. I'm just going to go your favorite UND athletes of all time.
Ooh.
Okay. Any sport, I need your top 4 though. Give me your Mount Rushmore. Top UND athletes all time.
I mean, this is really hard because, like, dang, it's almost hard. It would be almost easier if I got to do each sport individually, but I won't like. So I think about, for me, like the players that created the memories for me.
Yeah.
That I'll never forget.
Yep.
So like Jim Kleinsasser for me is on that list.
Running away from the Bison.
Yeah. Like he has to be. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to complete this question, because I will say this also. I will say the coolest part about the collective for the past 2 years for me is, and I'll send you a picture. We can put it up, right? That's something we can do in the thing.
And it's magic. Yep.
Look at that. I get to do that. I've never got to do that before. So that's awesome. Like I collect jerseys, and like I've got now like in my garage of fame, like some of just my favorite athletes over the past 2 years that I've got to work with.
That's awesome.
Who are just outstanding young men.
Yep.
And women that, so it's hard for me because I've got all these favorite athletes from the past 2 years.
You got 3 more. I'm going to be a stickler on this too.
Okay.
You're not getting 5.
It's not the like the best athletes. It's my
just
favorites.
It's just your favorite. Yeah.
So Jackson Coons is on that list.
Yeah.
And here's why. This is one of my favorite humans.
Let's go, dude.
The first athlete to sign a contract with the 1883 Collective.
Come on.
And history. His contract is framed in my office there.
That's awesome.
But if you've known Jackson, you know he's just one of the best dudes in the world.
Good dude.
This is going to be hard because Ben Strinden is family. So
Right.
like if I don't include Ben, like
He's one of our favorites too.
Ben's mom and my wife are first cousins. So,
Yeah.
But like I also have to just go back to, okay, so I'm going to put Ben on the list.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's 3.
So I'm going to flip it. Ben got to do, so there's 3. And then, okay, the 4th one is, I'm going to go with Ed Belfour.
Yeah.
And here's why.
All time.
I got a poster, signed poster from Ed Belfour also hanging in my garage that my mom got when she was working at the hospital.
Come on,
And
Sue.
took care of him. And
so your mom worked at the hospital? So
my mom worked.
so
at
Emily's mom worked at the hospital.
Yep.
And your mom.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
I just thought Sue, not your mother-in-law, your mother. Okay.
Mom came home from the hospital one day with 2 signed posters for me and my brother.
What the heck?
It just said, "To John, all the best, Ed Belfour." When she took care of him at the hospital one day.
That's awesome.
And I mean, I knew who Ed Belfour was. I mean, I didn't get to watch him play. I was like 2 and 3 at the time, but like that changed like my view, like of just the program and the accessibility of the people in the program. So there we go. We got 3 hockey players and a football player.
Okay.
Eric Schmidt's gonna be pissed that I didn't put him on.
Yeah, dude, pride of Mandan. Come on, man.
I know.
Dude, there's so many.
Well, you didn't give me 5 or more. So.
I know. This is a Mount
So,
Rushmore. We already cap it
I
at
would've
4.
put you as-
Honorable mention.
I would have put you as 5th.
I mean, UND football.
I got a good mix of young and old though there, right?
That is a good mix. Ed Belfour is a good pull.
Yeah.
Jerome Beasley.
Well, I mean, it's not a fair question.
It's
Like,
not. It's not. There's just some
particularly like
Quentin
Ed,
Hooker.
I know. That's the thing. We didn't even cover like
new guy. Yeah,
Right.
like basketball and even like on the women's side, the twins.
yeah.
And some of the girls that Val Sussex. Shout out Val. No,
About Val. That was amazing.
there's so
Yeah, I
many.
love Val.
That's good.
I'm gonna have to make like 40 phone calls to athletes to apologize to them for not.
You're gonna
putting
be
them on
catching
the
some
Rushmore.
flack now.
Like, what is?
Yeah.
That's all right. I'll take it.
All right, 2 things as we wrap up here. Man, there's a theme among our guests. We always are looking for overcomers, and your story is a powerful one. If somebody is listening here today and was wondering what is an overcomer, what would you tell them?
You know, I think every human faces adversity, and that looks different for a lot of different people. But I think when I think of an overcomer, I think about someone that takes adversity and turns it into a force for good in some capacity, in its simplest form, right? And that adversity can be really big and heavy. It could be something small, but I think that mindset of taking adversity and just turning it to work either in your favor or your community's favor, whatever your community looks like. That's what I think of when I think of an overcomer, is just building something better from something that slaps you in the face.
There it is. So good. We're going to have to take all of our guests' definitions of overcomers and make a wall out of it, because none of them have been wrong. And
if you can do that, edit that in over the Mount Rushmore segment and take that out. So I'm going to have anxiety about that now for like 4 days.
Oh, that's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. Let's end with something good. Garrett, you got something for me?
I was actually gonna say Jim Kleinsasser, because I'm originally from Carrington.
Carrington
go.
guy.
And I told a patient today that I was from Carrington, and they go, "Oh, Jim Kleinsasser."
There you go.
So since we were at UND, I thought that'd be fitting. But since you kind of stole that, I'm gonna go my second favorite UND athlete of all time, Gino Crandall.
Gino.
Dude could hoop.
20. I just saw in your office the 2017 banner, right?
Yeah.
He's part of that team.
Yep.
So that guy could hoop. Gino's a nice guy. I like Gino. We're at UND at the same time.
Plays overseas.
He's playing some ball overseas.
I think so.
It's solid. So quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slithery.
Very, very slithery. Say that word one more time.
Slithery. It's kind of hard to say.
That's a tough word. Slithery. I haven't heard that word very often. Job, G. All right, Anna.
Now we're all mouthing slithery.
Slithery.
If you're at home right now, try to say it.
Say it 5 times
It's
fast.
hard.
Okay, I have 2. I am a YouTube gal. The long form is kind of my OG. The long form videos.
Yeah.
So I love YouTube. And Aunt Edwards posts YouTube videos.
What?
Does he really?
Yeah, I mean, he obviously has somebody like editing them and blah blah blah. But yeah, he like takes you through his pregame prep. He just posted one I think today or yesterday about his injury that he just had. And they're interesting. They're so fun to watch.
Anna Edwards.
Yeah.
He's playing tonight. That's something, dude.
Yeah.
Is he really?
I think so.
We'll see.
Sounds
We'll see.
like it.
I hope when this episode drops, the Wolves are still playing
Yeah.
in the NBA Finals. That would be
Oh,
unbelievable.
that would be something good.
That would be something very good. Yes, that would be something.
Oh,
very
my other thing, just superficial, in the spirit of the weather and, the warmth happening, ice cream shops, local ice cream shops are opening now. So it's just like,
You stole my something.
really?
Oh,
Shut up.
no.
Okay, pretend I didn't say my second
We
one.
can cut it out.
Yeah.
You can cut it
No.
out. Yeah.
No, that's
John,
that's,
piggyback off.
That's great. I was just gonna say, like in the simplest form, like it's Dairy Queen season.
Yeah.
Like just,
Come on.
I will tell you, like our family summer tradition, Sunday evenings, we have Sunday dinner. We get in the car, get Dairy Queen, and just look around town. Just drive around town and look at.
Windows down.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's that season again, and that makes me happy.
That is exciting. For all of us Midwest people, the summertime, like, we appreciate it more. That is undoubtedly.
For sure.
We appreciate it more because of the harsh winter that you go through.
I feel like we've earned it.
You do earn.
Yeah.
You gotta earn your summers a little bit. And so ice cream and going to the lake and watching the sunset over the lake, like those summer nights are coming. Those Sunday nights at Dairy Queen are coming, and they're now here. So
Yep.
my something good. The best thing in the month of June, really anywhere in the country, happens on the third Saturday in June in a little tiny town called Annetta. And what happens in Annetta on the third Saturday in June, you might be asking, what? I've never heard of Annetta. What happens? It's the Annetta Turkey Barbecue.
Oh, yes.
And it is the largest turkey barbecue in the country, where over 280 turkeys get roasted over an open coal fire. And I have the great, distinct honor of having our family being able to cook them. So we've been cooking them for over 60 plus years. My great grandpa started cooking those suckers. And our family always comes back for it. It's our family reunion every year. Cousins from Maryland and Wisconsin, all over. Cousin down in California. I mean, almost everybody comes back. And little town of 200 people, I think over 2,500 come on that day to come eat some turkey.
It's wild.
So that's my something good. If you're looking for something to do, it's coming up. So come on out to Annetta and we'll feed you some turkey. But that's something good. John, you have an invite. I would love to host you and your family.
We'll be there. That
And
sounds amazing.
It's a good little day trip. It's an hour from Grand Forks. Tickets are on me this year. And yeah, come on out.
It's a ticketed event.
Yeah. It's ticketed.
Exclusive.
Yeah. It's kind of a big deal. It's been actually so cool, that event, how it's grown, and everyone has a role.
That's awesome.
It's a total small town rural America beauty.
Yeah. That's the best part about it.
Yeah. So
awesome.
all right, man. Garrett, Annie, you got anything?
No, I don't think so. Just
Man,
ignore that flash. That was just...
Yeah, Jimmy, take me out with that flash. Don't cut that either.
I didn't even think
Better not
about
cut
it.
that. She's taking pictures and flashing me up in the back.
Flashbang.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jeez.
golly. All right, well, hey, this has been awesome. John, thanks for your time, man.
Thank you.
This has been
Thanks for having me.
sweet.
This is
And,
great. Appreciate the conversation.
Yeah, this has been super great, and I know everyone's going to appreciate it. So thanks for coming up on the sit down, and have a great rest of your week. Thanks, guys.